One of the stories that I absolutely declined to cover was the story of Master of the TDS and his wife, their gothic therapy together. They allegedly exposed Sweet Baby Inc. Now, I chose not to cover this. God damn! I did watch the entire video, and the reason why I chose not to make a video about it is because I feel like to get the entire context of it, you have to watch the entire video. You have to see what it is that they're saying. And I don't want to make a video reacting to somebody else's video. Now, I might do that on stream, but that's completely different. Okay, maybe we'll watch it later on stream. But this is basically what they're doing. Breaking, we contacted the BC Legislative Assembly to confirm the full legal name of Terry Hubers. Their response, they can't verify it. No confirmation, no denial, because the truth was never meant to be found. But we found it anyway. And here you can see, there's a lot to read here. There's a lot to read. It's a lot to go over. They have an entire video explaining this. Basically, the gist of it is what Master of the TDS was saying is there is a guy by the name of Terry Huberts, okay, who was the original founder of Sweet Baby Inc. He funded it, he started it, and then he disappeared. Absolutely disappeared. And then all of a sudden it was Kim Belair and the other guy, I forgot his name, that came on later. And they removed Terry Huberts from everything. And apparently this Terry Huberts guy has a father who was very involved politically with Canada and all of this stuff. And it basically the gist of it is Sweet Baby Inc. is a government funded studio, or not even a studio. They're an agency. Okay. A Canadian government funded agency, basically to go and spread propaganda. That's what they were doing. Okay. And the implication was that, they were lying about how they started. And it seemed like, at first, it seemed like some big conspiracy, but from what I took from it, it just didn't seem like the smoking gun that it was being portrayed as. Maybe I'm misreading this. You can come over here and see even Dread Roberts. He had a thread on it, and it's a really long thread. We're not going to read the entire thing, but he's saying, I'm sorry, Master of the TDS. I like what you do, but you've made a big thing out of possibly nothing. I've watched this video several times, and your assertions just don't add up. Here's why. He goes, Terrence Jason Huberts was only in politics. That's apparently the father of Terry Huberts. Was only in politics for a few years and exited in 91. That was over 20 years ago. While he was the Minister of Parks, which is not far from a Leslie Knope from Parks and Recreation. All they really do is create park legislation. He was also Minister of the State for a very short time, which is more of a relief duty than anything. The guy is in his late 70s, has been out of politics for over 20 years, and was just a parks guy. Now, about his legislation on embedding private sector into public systems, you should post his policy at the very least to come over, because private sector doesn't mean secret off the books entity. It means not government controlled. I agree with that. Like construction companies, for example, and public systems are normally entities too, like utilities and sewage. Okay. Unless you find something incredibly damning within the government framework, you're wrongly suggested this policy was a secret government scheme to fool the public with embedded propaganda, and thus decades later he would try to secretly embed DEI into gaming through SBI. Now, to criticize Dread Roberts a little bit, I'm pretty sure he's not saying that it's Terrence Huberts that's doing this. It's actually Terry Huberts. And that what Master of the TDS is trying to insinuate is that Terry Huberts is operating in the shadows. You know, he started this company, Sweet Baby Inc., and then he allowed for Kim Belair and whoever to take over while he works from the shadows. That's what Master TDS, where I thought he was going with it though. Where I thought Master of the TDS was going with it was that he was trying to say that this company was started by a guy named Terry Huberts that was supposed to be something else, and then it was taken over by Kim Belair and another guy to be something completely different. And then dude suddenly disappeared, which would insinuate that Kim Belair has something to do with the guy disappearing. That's where I thought Master of the TDS was going with it. And that would have been huge. I mean, think of the story of Kim Belair having something to do with some poor guy who started a video game company to, you know, just be a part of the video game industry, and she turned it into some woke propaganda machine. And then when he fought against it, she had the dude knocked off. That would have been a crazy story. But unfortunately, it turned into basically something where they're trying to insinuate that this guy is working from the shadows, and I don't buy it. I just don't buy it. I really don't. You know, I just don't. I don't buy that. I really don't. I need to see more. And I love Master of the TDS, but what it was set up to be was going to be the thing that ends Sweet Baby Inc. But I don't think this does any of that. Okay, even if you was able to confirm that Sweet Baby Inc. is getting government funding and they're a government propaganda machine, how does that stop them? It doesn't. Okay, we figured out that they were funded by the government to spew propaganda. We knew that about the Dustborn game. The Dustborn game was literally funded by the UK government to spew propaganda. What does that do? It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help us. It doesn't stop Sweet Baby Inc. And of course, next you got Alyssa Mercante jumping down your throat. I heard the usual suspects were up in arms over a video game company getting government funding and concerned it was to push an agenda. Please don't let them fool you. This is very normal. And she posted a couple of screenshots. Italian government approves 4 million euros fund for games developers. There you go. Here's another one. Video game company receives $1.5 million grant from Fort Worth to relocate. Multi-million pound funding boost for homegrown video game developers. More than $3 million of government funding has been awarded to emerging video game developers and startup studios to help them scale their businesses and create the next British gaming hits. CD Projekt Red Techland receives grants from Polish government's 27.4 million research fund. The Witcher 3 dev takes biggest chunk with 7 million towards seamless multiplayer and city creation projects. There you go. And she says there are dozens upon dozens of examples of this. And I gotta be honest with you, I can't grift off this. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm looking at this like, damn, like I got Alyssa Mercante on my screen and I can't even argue with the motherfucker. Because we already knew this. We already knew that there were studios and agencies getting government funding and yes, it's highly likely that these governments, wow, clown horn. Yes, it is highly likely that these government grants came with demands. Like, yeah, if you're going to take this grant, you have to check these boxes. You have to make sure you make this point in your game. You have to make sure this is in there and that is in there and all of this stuff. Yeah, but we already knew that. So confirming that Sweet Baby Inc. got government funding, I mean, that doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. Me personally, I would have ran with the grift. That why did this dude suddenly disappear? I thought that was more interesting. Why did this guy suddenly disappear? I think Master of the TDS went down the range of, oh, he's secretly running things from behind closed doors. Me, I'm more so thinking, what if dude started this company to be something completely different, and then Kim Belair and whomever it is she's working with came in and took over and had another idea for the company, and then when old dude tried to fight against it, they made him disappear. In what form that takes, I don't know. I'm not saying bro's dead. I'm just saying they made dude disappear because according to Master of the TDS, they couldn't find nothing on this dude. So I don't know. I think that's a lot more interesting and a bigger hole to dive deeper into. But I got to be honest with you, the whole expose about them being government funded is a little bit disappointing. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. As always, may the grift be with you. Make sure y'all Please, if you like what you heard today, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get back into the algorithm the way that we was in January, and this is how we're going to do it, all right? Talk to y'all later.
Oh, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.